In January 2025, Los Angeles found itself under siege as relentless wildfires ravaged the region. Driven by fierce Santa Ana winds, the flames consumed vast areas, destroying over 10,000 structures and claiming at least 11 lives. More than 180,000 residents were forced to flee their homes. Amid this chaos, the Trump family arrived in California for a series of engagements. Barron Trump, now 18 and a freshman at New York University, accompanied his parents on the trip. While his father, President Donald Trump, attended a fundraiser, Barron had time to explore the city. As the fires intensified, the air became thick with smoke, casting an eerie orange glow over the skyline. Intrigued by the unfolding disaster, Barron closely followed news reports and social media updates. He witnessed the devastation in places like Pacific Palisades, where multi-million-dollar homes were reduced to rubble. The historic Will Rogers Ranch was lost to the flames, but Barron noticed something unusual, a pattern in the locations of the fires. While most people were focused on the scale of the destruction, Barron observed that the ignition points seemed to follow a deliberate path. This sparked his curiosity, leading him to map the ignition sites using public information. The more he plotted, the clearer the pattern became, suggesting these fires weren't just random occurrences. Barron shared his findings with his parents, who were supportive but urged caution. Undeterred, he reached out to local authorities and fire experts to share his observations. However, his inquiries were met with skepticism. Overwhelmed by the crisis, officials had little time for theories from an 18-year-old, dismissing his findings as coincidences. But Barron couldn't shake the feeling that there was more to the fires than met the eye. Determined to uncover the truth, he delved deeper into the data. Meanwhile, the scale of destruction in Los Angeles was unprecedented. Entire neighborhoods were reduced to ash, and thick smoke turned daylight into an apocalyptic haze. Emergency shelters overflowed with families, and wildlife fled to suburban areas, desperate for safety. The wildfires, driven by winds exceeding 60 miles per hour, spread faster than firefighters could contain them. The cost of battling these fires was felt not just in property damage, but in the exhaustion of those fighting them. Images of firefighters collapsing from sheer fatigue became a symbol of their heroism. During a visit to an evacuation center in Santa Monica, Barron overheard the emotional story of a mother who had only minutes to grab her children and flee before her home was consumed by flames. Another man showed Barron a photo of his prized vintage car collection, now just a pile of scorched metal. But what struck Barron most was a firefighter's remark. "It's almost like they have a mind of their own," he said. "I've been doing this for 20 years and I've never seen anything like it. Some of these fires seem to ignite out of nowhere in places you'd never expect." These words solidified Barron's belief that the fires were not just a natural disaster. He couldn't help but think back to the strange alignment of the ignition points he'd noticed. Determined to investigate further, Barron spent hours browsing online forums and social media, where others had also observed unusual fire patterns. Some speculated arson, while others hinted at more sinister motives, such as corporate sabotage or forced land acquisition. One particular thread caught Barron's attention. A user had uploaded drone footage of an area just outside Pasadena, showing a fire igniting in a suspiciously precise location. Barron felt he was on the verge of something bigger. In the heart of Los Angeles, Barron, a determined investigator, stumbled upon a mysterious drone footage capturing a spark before a devastating wildfire. Intrigued, Barron embarked on an obsessive quest for truth. His findings pointed to deliberate ignition points lining up with recent property acquisitions by Solvista Holdings, a shady corporation with murky intentions. Digging deeper, Barron uncovered a pattern of land grabs in fire-prone areas, orchestrated by Solvista at inflated prices. With growing evidence and mounting danger, Barron's investigation drew the attention of powerful forces, including threats and surveillance. Undeterred, Barron sought the help of investigative journalist Linda Moreno, and together they pieced together a chilling conspiracy. As they prepared to expose Solvista's nefarious scheme, Barron's room was ransacked and Linda vanished, leaving only a warning note. Fearing for his safety but driven by justice, Barron took a bold step, sharing damning evidence with Linda's editor. The resulting exposé shook California, revealing the calculated destruction for profit and leading to arrests and reforms in wildfire policies. Despite the risks and personal toll, Barron's courage inspired widespread change. His journey underscored the power of truth and the resilience of communities in the face of corporate greed, leaving a legacy of accountability and hope.